Hello, don't go anywhere. This is the wrong place, but it might turn out to be the right one. You're here with Joe, and
Akash, and you're listening to the We've Got
we've got
Nothing
nothing
Left.
left podcast. Oh, I thought
I,
we were saying that
I thought I was going to say it.
together. Oh, all right. Let's just go. Get
Let's
into it.
just go. Cool.
Recording's in progress
Hello.
now. Hello.
Wow. How you doing?
Hello. I'm good. It's been a while. Bloody hell.
Yeah, I know. I've
Wow.
changed. I've redecorated. I mean, no one can see on the background.
You've redecorated your entire house inside and out.
Yeah. No, we moved, Doctor. A little bit of James Gordon
Moved.
there for you.
Oh,
I was rewatching that. We're already going on a tangent in the first five
oh, I
seconds of this
know.
episode, but it's Doctor Who related. I've been
It is.
rewatching Matt Smith, and Joe is livid that I've been doing it. Um,
Yeah. Yeah. Look, I don't
I
mind Matt Smith. I don't mind Matt Smith, but you've put me in a mood because you brought up James Corden. That's all I can
listen,
say. Sorry.
we'll
Sorry.
try and I just thought get it out of the way and then smooth sailing
Yeah.
from here.
No, that's true. It's
But
true.
yeah, I wanted to do a little catch up on the sort of new era of Doctor Who. We had the 60th,
Yeah.
we had the Christmas special.
Yeah.
Um, we've got some recent news as well, so it's all sort of popping off, even though it's not going to air until May. And
Yeah.
just I think it's quite funny to sort of review it after our theories on the 60th. I was thinking the other day of what we said
Yeah.
about Wild Blue Yonder. Do you remember when we like
Do you know
spent an
what? I
hour
need to
analyzing
rewatch it. But
it?
everyone that speculated on Wild Blue Yonder was wrong
Yeah.
entirely, which is great, which is how it should be.
Yeah,
But
true.
that is, yeah, the speculation on that one is crazy.
Yeah, he's probably given them loads of new ideas for new episodes. Should
Yeah,
have
I
held on
know.
to it.
I know.
That's-
I'm just, well, we'll get to it. I won't mention it now, but one of my theories
Yeah.
being correct, so I was quite happy about that.
Oh, yeah. That'll be good. Um, yeah, I mean, we'll start off with the new and exciting news. Well,
Yes.
it's definitely controversial to an extent. We don't know the full details, and it's not something that's been officially published by Doctor Who themselves, but it's it's obvious that Millie Gibson, the Doctor's current companion, has now been sort of reduced to a returning character, and there is a new companion now,
Yeah.
Varada Sefi. She was in most notably she was in Andor. She played
Yeah.
Cinta in
She was
Andor.
great. Great in Andor.
Yeah, I really liked her. And it's nice to finally have like some representation on the companion front as well, which is always nice to sort of see.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
and she's a good actress, so it's a
Yeah.
double whammy.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's been good to have. Well, we'll get to the new
Yeah,
companion, but it's been good to have some. I feel horrible saying this, but some good acting from the companions.
that's the thing. I'm like, what did you? Because like, obviously, then maybe we should just jump into the Christmas
Yeah.
special and sort of work backwards and
Yeah.
sort of link
Yeah.
that to the new
Yeah.
news. Because obviously, Ruby's debut happened in the Christmas special, the first one in 5 years.
Yes.
It was mad.
Yeah.
What did
I
you think of
know.
that?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Wow. Um. Well, look. Let's start off with the sour, should we say? Um. Because I've actually only seen it once, and that was on Christmas Day. Um.
okay.
I should rewatch it, but for me, I it's difficult. I've got so many thoughts that I just can't process.
Yeah,
Um, and it's been what almost a month this week since it was out, which
yeah,
is crazy. Um, it felt like they were trying to do a sort of Christmas invasion style
yeah.
episode where you introduce the new Doctor, the new companion. Well, you weren't introducing the new companion in Christmas Invasion, but introducing the new Doctor, the new companion, a new villain, all of these different things. It felt a new family dynamic for Ruby. I've got to try not to call her Rose.
Yeah. Which basically
Um,
is Rose, mate.
yeah, Rose too.
Yeah.
Which is a joke for anyone comes for me for that. Um,
Yeah.
but she, yeah, the whole episode just sort of felt like it was a bit. The pacing was off for me.
It was
That
a
was the
bit
biggest
bare
issue.
bones. I agree.
Yeah, yeah, and it felt like um, I didn't feel a threat really.
No, there was
Um,
no like human or like the stakes. Like with this, if you compare it, and you shouldn't really compare it to other episodes, but they were definitely going for the vibe of the Christmas invasion with the whole pirate ship up in the air and stuff.
yeah,
And the stake was the baby being taken and basically being eaten. But it was such a like, it was almost like a episode trying to just explain rewriting time because like the whole thing happened of the
yeah.
baby being taken, they save her, and then the aliens, the goblins, they go back. Ruby's disappears from time, and then it's just like even like Shooty's a really good actor, and I really liked what he's doing with the character, but he got really emotional at one point. And I was like, I don't really like.
I don't connect with that.
Oh yeah, it's connecting
Yeah,
with it. Yeah, fair enough
yeah,
that he's like admitted that he's been adopted and he's got all this trauma and stuff from like the 60th that they touched upon. But like, I as an audience member, I didn't connect to it, and it's sort of just like you got to earn that, and it just didn't feel
yeah.
right. Um, yeah, it it wasn't the best sort of introduction, I think.
No,
To,
I, and that's what it should have been like. And it was. It was an introduction, but
mm,
it it felt. And we've said this about something before, and I actually can't remember what it was, but it might have been the Flash. And don't get me wrong, this is way better than the Flash, but it felt overstuffed
yeah, it was
and
doing a lot.
bare bones at the same
Yeah,
time.
yeah, it's like
Um,
quality, not quantity.
yeah,
Was the classic
yeah.
case of that. And I
And I
think as well, like,
go on. Sorry.
no, it's like it's just important elements of like you barely went in the TARDIS, so it just didn't feel like I don't know, didn't have
Yeah.
that excitement to it. And I was gonna say something else. You go, I'll remember it. You were saying
No,
something.
I was just gonna say, it felt like we were, I don't know, like the whole Davina McCall thing, and
I forgot about that.
yeah, it was just sort of like, oh, okay, not cringy. I wouldn't say it was cringy, but like saying this about one of Russell's episodes hurts because
Yeah,
going into it, I remember, and not into the Christmas special, but the 60th specials. Um, Going into it, I remember we were so excited about it, and maybe it's our fault for
yeah,
putting our hopes up too high. But and this might be controversial, and I'm sure it's going to be whatever. I feel like he's been out of Doctor Who for too long,
yeah.
and he's been writing. But but then I say this, and it's this. I'm contradicting myself for with my thoughts because I was going to say he's too used to writing realism,
Mm.
but then thinking back to the Christmas invasion, that was way more realistic,
Grounded, wasn't it? It's just in the council
grounded.
estate.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And obviously, we've got the house on Minto Road, pizza place
yeah.
on Minto Road, where Ruby lives. Um,
Oh, is
yeah,
it?
yeah, yeah.
I need
On
to
the
rewatch season one.
on the fridge, on the fridge with all the pictures of the adopted kids, it has the pizza place leaflet on it.
And then there's the what was a nice callback was the snowman falling on
Yeah.
15, and that was
Which
the shop.
yeah,
Yeah,
which was a scene added on Disney's uh,
on Disney's
request.
request.
Yeah.
Okay, that's actually not a bad addition in the
Yeah,
sense of like
because they said that there wasn't enough shooty in the beginning of the episode.
yeah, that's interesting. That's actually kind of a win from Disney, and I do like the idea that they like to use the budget to make stuff more exciting. I mean, we were talking about it, and it'll link when we talk to the 60th of like the show. for me personally, the show doesn't feel the same as it did in like 2008, but that's not necessarily bad. It's like evolved into a different type of show. Even with the opening sort of like credits, and even after the titles are gone, it's just like it's high quality, it's a different visual. I'm trying to remember what my point was, but it just feels like a different.
Entity.
It's yeah, it's made for a different sort of viewing platform as well
Yeah.
because it
Yeah.
has to compete with like Andor or like well I feel like Loki's one of its biggest competitors because Loki just ripped off Doctor Who, even with the music and the
Basically, yeah.
famine and like the overcoat.
Yeah.
So yeah, it does feel like it's sort of a different level of show, but at the same time, it has the continuity which links it back, obviously, to the same universe that it's always been in.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's good of it. But overall, on that sort of Christmas special, it's sort of yeah, it didn't really. I think it was a good introduction, but I feel Christmas episodes are hard for introductions. You kind of want
They
like
are. They are.
yeah, I
Yeah.
want a whole series now to then just like whack in. I
Yeah.
remember I spoke to my sister and she was like, "When's it come out?" It's like May. She's like, "What?" People will forget like what the hell happened.
I
Like,
know, but then you say that, and then I feel like people have forgotten the dark times when during the Peter Capaldi era, when there was a year without anything.
yeah,
Not even,
yeah,
I think there was because it was like Christmas special to Christmas special,
yeah, exactly.
like
Yeah,
things like
yeah,
that.
it's fair. We're in this. We've got a new doctor. It's always going to be a
Yeah.
bit like.
Yeah. But
I mean,
then, go on. Sorry.
I was going to say that aside. Actually, I think Shooty's one of the best bits about the show. Like, I actually really like his costume. I do like the idea that I think his iconicism is that he's changing the costumes, but I wanted to
Mm,
talk to you about that, of what you think about him almost potentially like I don't think there's any issue with what he's actually wearing. I think it's all really interesting clothes. I love that he's linking like the kilt to his Scottish roots, and
yeah.
what I'm finding is like he's wearing stuff of different doctors, which makes sense because he's the same person. But it's like, what about the costume would you say is him specifically? Because the high-waisted trousers are Jodie, the leather jacket is from Nine. In the new picture from Verada in season 2, he's wearing a bow tie. He wears a
Mm.
pinstripe suit in one of the episodes. It's like I like that, but I'm trying to. I want to see something just of him, and I don't know if it's just a
Yeah.
moustache.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Which was glue on apparently during the Christmas
Yeah,
special.
I think it's real for the other times though. He's not going
Yeah.
around
Yeah.
doing
I
interviews or
know. Can
anything.
you imagine?
Yeah.
Um. Uh. See, I've got an issue with Doctor Who in general, right? And that is when a new Doctor comes about, everyone immediately says, or when a Doctor's announced, right?
Yeah.
While the old Doctor is, which this is a special circumstance because with Jodie and Shooty getting announced, and then David getting announced to be back in it later on.
Mm.
It was sort of weird, but everyone was like, "Oh, okay, yeah, he's a bit younger, this and that, blah blah." And then as soon as they come on screen, and this isn't just Shooty, this is all of the other Doctors. As soon as they come on screen, it's oh my god, I love this Doctor, contender for one of my favorites. How the fuck do you know that? He's been on the screen, and I saw people saying this off the giggle, right?
Yeah.
And it's like, fuck off. How have you had 60 years of Doctor Who, right? With how many doctors?
I
Not
don't know
really counting
anymore.
John Hurt and Joe Martin. So 14.
14, yeah, official, like, yeah.
14 doctors over 60 years, and you've had this doctor for 25 minutes, and you're saying contender for one of my favorites.
Yeah.
How? How? I don't get it.
Who?
You need
Doctor
to
Who.
just this is the problem, right? That I have, and I am guilty of it a few times, quite a lot of times.
Hmm.
Is that with the Doctor, especially, I'm not talking about episodes and things like that because it's difficult to judge. But with the Doctor as a character or a new incarnation, sorry, when people immediately say that they're their favorite, it's it's gonna really fucking plummet because you're putting them way
Expectations,
up, and as
pedestal.
soon, yep,
Yeah.
yep, and that is gonna drop and drop and
And
drop and drop.
you already know, even from what Millie has said about the new series one, it's going to be controversial. And I think one
Yeah.
element of that is the musical aspect of it. What do you think of the whole
God,
gobbling sing
I
on?
knew we were gonna say this.
I spoke. That's what when earlier when I was like, oh, I forgot what I said, and I knew it was important. It was that. It was the
It
gobbling
was stored in
singing.
my head that that was going to be the last thing we spoke about.
It
Fucking
hit number one on iTunes before the episode even came out. So
Doctor
that's
Who
all the
fans are
people
fucking mental, mate. That's
that
why.
I know.
And it's kind of
That
catchy, which is annoying.
that's it. And you know what? We were talking about this episode being a bit like lackluster and a bit bare bones. I don't know if this is even insulting my mum. Hopefully she doesn't listen to this. I wouldn't necessarily say she's like the biggest Doctor Who fan, but she really liked it. She really liked the sort of swashbuckling, like
What the
fantastical
episode in
nature.
general?
Yeah, and I think
Yeah,
maybe it was done in that way to ease people into the show, before going to
yeah,
complex. It kind of just explained time travel, and it did something fun with the music, and it was visually quite exciting. So I think maybe that was the purpose of the 60
yeah.
of the Christmas special.
For me, do you know what? And this is really picky. But you have to be, you know.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, the goblins, right? I thought they were fun and interesting, but where? And this might be something that I just missed. Where did they come from? Are they aliens? Are they mythical creatures? Are they from Earth? Like,
Do you
I
remember what
don't get it.
he said? Russell T Davies said that when the toy maker said that like his legions were coming and that he's like because he like sort of broke into this dimension. I'm pretty sure Russell said that meant that the barriers had broken down to allow
Like
more
more,
mystical creatures to come in. Yeah, like so then that's why they're just called goblins and stuff. But I hate explanations where it's just I was thinking about the other day when they're just so like vague and they don't actually like show you what you want to see. And
yeah.
like a good example of that is Star Wars, where in episode 7 where Maz Kanata gets Luke Skywalker's lightsaber and gives it to Vin, and
Story for
then
another time.
yeah. I was like, no, that's the
Yeah,
story I want to fucking watch.
yeah.
And it's like I had that with the costume. You had the perfect time to get him in the wardrobe with a new TARDIS interior and just like probably like they robbed us. I mean, they'll probably do it in another series one, maybe when he's just trying out. But even the sonic screwdriver is just sort of there. And I think it's
Don't
important to talk about that because
start with a fucking sonic screwdriver.
we were like I remember when we spoke about it, us two, Joe and Ben, and we were all like reacting. It was the day after the Christmas special, I think. Was no, day after?
Day
No.
of, yeah. It was. No, it was the day of the giggle.
Yeah, the giggle, yeah. And yeah, because they showed it in the next time and wow.
Mate,
It's it's so
shit.
far from what it is. Yeah, it's just
I
I do think about it and it's like
I do you know what? I've got a couple of thoughts about it, right? And none of them are good, right? First of all, everyone's allowed their opinion, right?
yeah.
But if you say you like that, you are wrong. There's
It's good for
no,
another device. Maybe another device.
yeah, it's not a sonic screwdriver. First of all,
It's a
it
sonic
doesn't,
remote. It
yeah,
doesn't
yeah, it
resemble. It is not.
doesn't resemble a screwdriver. I'm looking at the sonic screwdrivers that I have at the moment, right?
Yeah,
They all look like they're narrow.
mm,
They look like a screwdriver. Yeah,
exactly, exactly.
that
It's
looks terrible.
there's no like yeah. There was no flair to it. I mean, the color
No.
scheme's nice, but it's just 12's colors of blue
And
and gold, the exact same. So I don't get that.
you know what irks me the most about it? No, there's two more things about it. This isn't the worst thing. But when the Doctor holds out their sonic screwdriver, and
Yeah.
like the best Doctor to use a sonic screwdriver is Peter Capaldi without a fucking doubt.
You think so?
Because
I want the
and
way that he goes like
yeah.
Okay, brandishes
the
it. The way he brandishes
yeah
the Sonic.
brandishes, yeah, perfect
Yeah.
word for it. But the scene that comes to mind is when, I'm sure there's many others, but when the Dalek in the pilot comes up and he goes, "Oh, scan this, scan this." He's holding it out, and like I don't know, but like with Shooty's one, he can't hold it out, or he can't like it will just look like a button, just like a big button,
Yeah.
because it folds
Yeah.
into like a circle. I genuinely think it is shockingly bad, and I don't know how. 'Cause it must have gone through multiple people.
Oh no. Have you noticed it again? Like Russell's like it's one of my favorite Sonic
I don't
screwdrivers.
get
And
it.
like
I don't know what's happening.
it's yeah. I mean it has what's got people conflicted about it is that Shooty did something which I know that Zack Snyder did with the Superman suit is where you get like a nice quote, like something meaningful, and then you put it in
Yeah,
the language of the character. Like with
yeah.
Superman, they put the S, put a Joseph Campbell quote in Kryptonian, and then with this, they put a Rwandan proverb in Gallifreyan. I like that. I really like that. But as a sonic screwdriver, the way that I think about it, you're talking about that image of Capaldi sort of brandishing it. It's sort of like it's the same language. You could have Tom Baker doing the exact same pose of his sonic screwdriver, put those two photos next to each other and be like, that's the same person. But there's the fine line between re recreating the character and making it your own to just sort of losing like something iconic. Like and it happened with the sunglasses. Do you remember like how people couldn't let the sonic screwdriver go, like
Yeah,
with Capaldi's
yeah,
glasses? At least they called it something else, you know? It's
yeah.
just
The thing is, they didn't say, "Oh, here's the sonic screwdriver," and he puts on glasses,
yeah, yeah.
like you just said. But like, uh, honestly,
It's
and it
because it's
has
Sonic
too many
Screwdriver.
buttons.
Yeah, it's like
It
it's
has
gonna
like
do loads of different
six
stuff.
buttons, and
I think it's
fucking this.
overpowered, to be honest. I think I hated it in the 60th actually when he made like force fields and stuff and
He don't
TV
even
screens
do
out
that
of it.
anymore.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
He's
What
just
happened
like,
to
I
it?
know
I mean, I guess
what.
David has it. I guess David it's in
That's
David's
true.
pocket.
That's true.
But or at least it could have. What if it folded? What if it broke in half when he regenerated, and then he could have built it into something else, or like
Yeah, I
something
genuinely think
exciting? You know?
it's a really, it's a terrible design.
It's the only one that doesn't. They always should like they always resemble the TARDIS in New Who as well, which I always loved.
Yeah,
And
yeah. I
I mean
mean,
the
Peter
TARDIS is
Capaldi's the
something
most.
as well.
Yeah, I was
Yeah,
gonna
yeah.
say, yeah. Maybe we should
It's
talk
a good
about the
yeah, good
new
segue. Yeah.
TARDIS. Get over
Yeah.
that fucking sonic screwdriver. Jeez.
Yeah. Going to sort of like at times, I guess. I mean, I guess, you know, like sort of first initial thoughts on the TARDIS. It's bigger, much bigger, which we love. It's sort of
Yeah,
like got a height of a cathedral. It's got the nice sort of hark back to the classic color palette. And obviously it has like 800 roundels that are like LED like powered, and they change from like purple to green to orange to
yeah. Nice
red.
gradients.
Yeah, like it's. I think someone like mentioned. I think Ben even said it, quoting someone else of like how it. They bet it's gonna like match his like emotion in the scenes and stuff, which
Okay.
I like that. And but also I liked it in like 10 when it would go red, sometimes green, but like red when it's in danger. I guess it
Yeah,
happened in the 60th.
they did it
Um,
with Jodie's TARDIS as well a few times.
yeah, 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 exactly. So I think it's a really, really good set. My only issue with it is that it just feels well, I got two. I think it because it's so large, it has so much empty space, which
I was gonna
kind of
say
like
that. Yeah,
it lacks character. Like at least
yeah.
with even tens on the edges of the I don't know what you would call them, like where the roundels are, he'd have like the ladders and stuff going to it,
Yeah,
and like
like the
mine would
balcony
be one.
sort of
Yeah,
bits. Yeah.
yeah. It's not like Jackie's just sitting on it, you know, like
Yeah.
and like he's fixing stuff there, and he's changing the bulbs and the
Yeah, there's nowhere to
roundels.
do that anymore.
Yeah, it's like what's he gonna do to actually fix that TARDIS. It's almost too pristine
Yeah.
that it has nothing. Even the bottom bit, which resembles 11, unless it's going to open up and he fixes stuff in it, it has no sort of There's no reason for it to sort of be
No,
there. Actually,
I
like
mean,
it. Yeah. What do you think?
the thing is, I love big TARDIS.
Mm,
Like, my one of my my favorite TARDIS interior is 12's.
yeah.
I know 11 used it, but you know,
No,
it's
12
12's.
is
It's
just
12's.
yeah. The change of colors is
Yeah.
massive. The library
Um,
and stuff. It was quite gothic. It
yeah,
had character.
yeah.
A
With
lot
the
of character.
desk, and there's a
Yeah.
picture of it that was cut from the episode from Listen where it was all lit by
The
candles.
candles. Yeah.
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 Oh,
Oh, I
oh
love
my
that.
god, it looked
Oh, I love that.
incredible.
Yeah.
But and that was big, but had, like you said,
It's actually
character.
I felt it was quite small, which wasn't even
Oh,
bad. Like it
really?
was very like yeah,
Well,
yeah.
I've been in there.
Oh,
I went in there. I did go to Cardiff and I went in there and it was fucking
I
enormous.
meant smaller compared to like
No, I know.
11's. I'm
And I
rewatching.
mean,
Yeah, yeah.
small to me feels like Jodie's TARDIS. Like that was
Oh yeah, just
small.
unworkable.
I mean,
Yeah.
obviously the classic TARDIS, like because it was basically the same throughout, was small, but like the modern new Who
Yeah, the
TARDISes.
moderns now it's gone back to proper big on the inside. But
Yeah.
yeah, don't you think like 12 just had the perfect balance between like so I guess
Yes.
the size of a classic TARDIS and the sort of the roundels, but it made it its own. And I feel like we live in an era now where people are so scared of originality in like TV and film, especially like in Marvel films, that they always go back to something that's comic accurate. And I just
Yeah.
felt like with this TARDIS, you've gone and made this hybrid TARDIS where it resembles a classic one so much that I guess the one thing that is new is that console, but I think it's so big. Did
Yeah.
you not see Shooty in the end of the 60th? He probably didn't have a clue what he was doing because he just joined, but he's pressing random like buttons.
Yeah.
I mean, I can't tell. Obviously, it's got to be random buttons, but it's when it makes it fly. It's the tiniest lever. I
I
fucking hate it.
know. I hate it. There's no
What the
like,
hell?
it's just this fucking bit rod of metal.
It's a
Like
kitchen.
with,
It feels like it is a
yeah,
kitchen. It's got a coffee machine on there,
like
which is an
with,
actual coffee machine.
I hate the fucking coffee machine. I'm putting that out
Yeah,
there
I
now.
do. I thought it was going to be something smart where the
A
TARDIS put it there on
whole
purpose. And
panel, a whole panel
I
for a
know,
coffee machine.
I know.
I mean,
What? There's nothing
seven,
recognizable in it, is
I
there?
know, no, 6 or 7, and I've got there's something in my head, but I need to say this. Six or
Yeah, yeah.
seven pilots for a TARDIS, and one of them is fucking just standing at a coffee machine. Um, the whole time just going, oh, anyone want a coffee?
Yeah.
No.
He needs a little robot in there. He needs that.
Yeah.
What's the one from the 60th? That is Zilf or whatever. There's
Oh,
Lynx.
the
Is it the Lynx
Blinks,
or something? Yeah,
Blinks
he
or
needs
something.
that. Yeah, he needs that in the coffee.
What the fuck is a Blink? What the fuck was that? Anyway,
It's the new K9, isn't it?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
But anyway.
Um, the TARDIS looks to me without the lights, even with the lights. You know when you see this is gonna be really niche, but a lot of people understand target audience wise. When there's a toy, right, and you see the prototype of the toy, where it's just a white model that hasn't been painted, hasn't been weathered or anything yet.
Mm.
Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, yeah, I do know. Yeah, yeah. It's like
That's
it's
what
a
it looks
mock-up.
like to me.
It's like-
Yeah.
yeah, you want some color to it.
Yeah. It hasn't, nothing's sort of been added
You
on
know,
yet.
I'll say like if you it's cursed, but if you watch the Sonic Screwdriver reveal video, when he's in it, it's blue and red, and even the walls are blue. So I feel like
Mm,
that TARDIS has the ability to
they
like
look
have
amazing.
some like rich color. So I
Yeah.
reckon I, it's very hard to like we're really just speculating on what we've seen, but I
Yeah. Yeah.
assume they've put a lot of money into it that it's going to it's all those doors are going to open up, and I even
I hope
like
so.
yeah, I mean, it's probably a good segue into this. I've just been doing segues all day, but
Well, just before,
yeah, yeah,
Russell said, because he said, and also I love that the only thing different about Shooty and well, 15 and 14 is a fucking jukebox, first of all. With the TARDIS.
What do you mean? Do you actually love that, or you hate it?
No, I hate that. No,
Oh.
I don't hate the no, I don't hate the jukebox, but like I hate that
No, like
It's the only thing that they added. Like,
It
oh,
should have been
okay,
shooties. I mean,
I
I
know.
know, like why did that TARDIS even change? That's
The
what I wanted to
the
talk about.
yeah.
We'll get into it in the 60th. I'm gonna write it down so I don't forget. You keep on talking.
No, I was just gonna say, like, it was set up in the 50th where the the interiors, what's it called, desktop or whatever,
Yeah,
is
the desktop. Yeah,
yeah, is sort of
archived.
shifted to match the
Oh,
Doctor.
oh
So
yeah,
I
it was.
thought
Yeah,
maybe it would sort of go back to the coral.
you know the bi generation, and that's something to talk about. It would have been
Yeah.
so much. You know, like when 14 was just like, oh, I really loved him. Oh, I don't know why I said that. Oh, he's really hot. Oh, do I say that now? Like
Yeah.
he was doing all these little bits where it would have been horrifying, but like if Shooty was in there the whole time, you know, I mean, I guess he was, but
Yeah,
like
I get that. I get what you
I,
mean.
it links to what my was writing down was one of the things was like when 13 regenerates into 14
Hmm.
and it's David Tennant and he's wearing all these new clothes. It was obvious that someone messed with reality because that's unless you count the first Doctor and the second Doctor, that's not
And
what happens.
it didn't.
Yeah. There was no explanation. Yeah, why would you not have someone like the Toymaker and the Bi Generation? I would have accepted it a lot more if it was grounded in the story that 14 was like distorted in time, and maybe that
Hmm.
14 actually was Shooty's Doctor all along, and like he just
Yeah.
like had this like hybrid sort of face, but then maybe he was still regenerating, and like
Just
maybe he got
yeah.
shot and
Yeah.
that is like, oh, do you know it's like in the first 15 hours of your regeneration cycle, like
Yeah.
you can't like you can still regenerate. So maybe it was like maybe that's like, oh, that's all I needed. A little hit of the
Yeah.
of the laser
Yeah.
beam to like finish regenerating, you know? Um
I mean, firstly, the fact that David didn't regenerate, or yeah, wasn't wearing Jodie's clothes, I think is stupid.
yeah,
Um,
exact the reasoning as well for it was
yeah,
just like
and then we thought that it would be because of the toy maker, and it wasn't. There was nothing to do with
yeah,
the regeneration, anything. It was just because he was tired and wanted to go to Donna.
that's what.
I
No,
know,
I hate I wanted it to have such a smart explanation
I
and it
know,
hurt when I
but
watched that.
do you know what it felt like? It felt like a late series, sort of like series 8 or 9 Moffat finale explanation,
Yeah, like the
where it was
hybrid
like,
ending.
oh yeah, it's just not really like I was still looking for answers after it finished.
Yeah,
Like,
what was the message behind it? It didn't need to have a message though. It
yeah,
just
not
had
even
to
the
be something.
message, just like I get that he changed back into sort of Ten's face to live with Donna, but like,
No,
why?
they
Why
changed
not?
back into
Why
his
not?
face to make the show popular again.
Yeah,
That's the
why not
reason why.
change back into fucking 3 and go and live with Joe? Do you know what I
Or his
mean? Like, I don't.
granddaughter.
Yeah,
Yeah,
his
what
fucking
like
granddaughter. He's not seen for what,
I'll
two
tell you
thousand
what.
years.
I'll tell you another thing that annoys me is that the continuity is all over the place. Where I just feel
Yeah.
like he went from being 900 to over 2000 to now 1 billion years old, and like I, I, I mean, I can get into it a bit too deeply, but I disagree with that. Obviously, it's referenced in the confession
Yeah.
dial, but he was like he cloned himself over 4 billion years, and a version of him died and was replaced with another clone,
Hmm.
essentially, um, to carry on. So he technically should just be over 2000, like unless like some
Yeah.
Jodie did something or like in
No.
between that. But I know like 900 years old isn't exactly relatable, but it's sort of like I don't know, it was tangible and it went up slowly, which was nice. But now it's just like
Yeah. It's cool
he
to
should he
say.
should have like dementia or something at
I
that
know.
stage.
I mean, it's cool to say, oh, the Doctor's 1 billion years old, but then like you can't really count the confession dial because
No,
if he was over 1 billion years old, then he'd be dead. Time Lords don't live for that long.
he's not a Time Lord though.
Oh, that's true. That is true.
It's not true.
He's as TARDIS Wiki calls it, the Doctor's species.
The Doctor's been
There's
time's giant.
nothing. Yeah.
He's
Um.
timeless. He's timeless. So you just keep on going. We'll
I
keep on
know.
going, and we'll keep
I
on getting shit Sonic
Until the
Screwdriver.
BBC just wants to get rid of it.
Yeah.
Which probably won't happen because it's Disney now. So, um, I mean, yeah, the giggle. What did you
Yeah.
think of
Oh, I
the giggle?
I loved it. I think it captured the sort of like fantastical nature of Doctor Who and like opening
Yeah,
in like Soho in the past and like the whole idea of using Stooky Bill to subconsciously control humanity. There was such stakes. There was such good stakes in that, even though we didn't really see the public a lot. I think it's because it was sort of filmed kind of near COVID or just like the end of that. So maybe that
yeah,
but also like just to avoid leaks and stuff. It made sense. It was quite a contained episode of just the Doctor
hmm,
and the relationship with the toy maker, but that made it feel very intense. And it had real horror in it as well, which is something that Doctor Who's always sort of had an element of, um, but it does it like quite a lot now. It's quite consistent in this 60th anniversary, and
yeah,
I rewatched By Generation a lot of times. I know it's controversial and stuff, but I actually did find it like a really sort of fun scene to watch,
yeah,
and I guess that's what gave like it that's what it sort of made it made the anniversary special a multi-Doctor story basically, um, without
mm,
having to sort of like bring back anyone. It sort of did it in an organic, in a different way.
yeah,
Um,
yeah.
but that being said, I'm not sure what if Russell's being serious, but in the video commentary, I just wanted to touch on that. I mean, we can go back.
Yeah.
Maybe do you want to talk about what you think about the Google first, and then we
Um,
touch that?
yeah, sure. I mean, I loved it up until the Bi Generation, and not because of the Bi Generation. Um, but I just found it really, really odd to introduce a new Doctor while the old one is still sort of fading out.
Yeah,
Um,
but he's
and
not
like,
phasing out. He's just there. At least if he disappeared, then it kind of would like
no, but like, sort of where, like, for instance, the episode didn't end with. I know it ended with Shooty like jumping about the TARDIS and that, but like, I'm trying to think of a different example. Um, or the Christmas Invasion. I know we've spoken about it, but like Rose and the Doctor looking up at the stars, and then um,
embarking off like a new chapter.
yeah, yeah, it didn't feel like that
It
as
kind of
much for
ended a
me.
chapter and started a new one at the same time. But if
Yeah,
anything, it felt like it felt like you were kind of ending the show in a way because our Doctor, our original Doctor, is just back on Earth now. The TARDIS is still there,
yeah,
and he's just chilling with Doctor. But the thing is that Tennant's have these stories of closure. Like
I
I know,
know, I
obviously,
know.
like we wanted him to have it and stuff, and it did feel nice, and it was a good like overall arc for his character. Um, I guess he really didn't want to go, so he was just like, "I'm gonna
Yeah,
stay forever." But the bi generation, I think, creates more problems than it solves because now it's sort of like people already saying like, "What do you mean when there's a there'll be a time when Earth's under attack and the Doctor won't be there?" Well,
well, he's
he
there
will
all the
be
time, and it's not. You
unless
can't. I've seen people say, "Oh, but he's
he's
relaxing."
resting. What are you on
Yeah,
about? If you
he's
saw
not
the
gonna just
Dalek,
stop.
yeah,
Yeah,
he can
Dalek
still
invasion.
do
Don't
stuff.
worry
Yeah,
about it.
yeah. Well,
Yeah,
I'm relaxing. I'll let the other one take it. Oh,
yeah.
he's not here. It's
Like,
just it doesn't it's not satisfying in that respect, and I feel like
no,
it does a disservice in a way because the idea of the show, like, what's that thing that Capaldi says that like things end and that's always sad, but things always
things
start again.
start
That's
again. That's
always
always
happy.
happy. Yeah,
But it's not really. It's like because it's a good analogy for death, I think, regeneration and then the rebirth of
mm,
life. But you're sort of selling a what's the message? Like oh, okay, so you won't go and you'll change at the same time, but then you'll just have to
Yeah.
rest. Like there's no like, it doesn't mimic anything in biology or anything new. And I guess it's a show about science fiction and fantasy, so it can do that. But the thing that annoyed me was that it's being used like as a ploy for future anniversary stories. Where did you and what I'm referring to is if people watch on BBC iPlayer the commentaries for the 60th anniversary specials, when the Bi Generation happens, Russell T Davis is talking to
Oh yeah.
his producer and David Tennant, and at that exact point that David and Shooty split and bi-generated, he had it was almost felt like an off-the-cuff thought whilst he was watching the commentary, being like, "Oh yeah, and that split down the timeline, and everybody bi-regenerated." That was a horrible Welsh accent, but yeah, he just like so like it was even when David Tennant just challenged him on something of like Sylvester McCoy. Then he just
Yeah.
so, but he's just in the where you keep dead bodies. He's just
Yeah.
in
In the
there,
morgue.
and it's like, but then like if 10 explodes in the TARDIS and 11 comes out, then when does 10 go? Is he like
Yeah. It didn't
TARDIS on
make
fire?
any sense to me. For me, that with the bi generation thing, where he said that, because um watching Towels from the TARDIS and Seven says, "Oh, there's some timelines where we don't regenerate."
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
what
we're
it felt
staying.
like to me. Like they don't split off, but rather there's a different timeline that continues, that splits off, where that
Okay.
doctor continues to live without regenerating. Like they didn't die. But the situation didn't happen where they died almost.
It's almost like the bi-generation then is like the timeline splitting through the Doctor, where one of them isn't
Yeah.
injured and one of them is and regenerates, which is interesting. I kind of wish it was a bit more explicit to say
I
that.
was gonna just about say the issue is, and this is what going back to what we said earlier, there's no explanation.
It's not executed well. Yeah, it's
No.
just something that happens.
It's just it's a myth. It's supposed to be a myth, but it's happened. Oh, okay. Well, we've never heard about it before.
Yeah,
So
it's the exact thing of like it goes down to yeah, everything about 14. Where did he get his suit from? Where did he get his sonic screwdriver from? Even apparently that was in a Doctor Who magazine comic, and I can't
oh
find it.
yeah,
I
I
want to know
know.
how he built it. Like,
Oh
there's
no,
just
no,
so much stuff
that's not in it.
that's not in
In that
it.
comic,
Yeah.
it's just how he lost
Oh,
13s.
13s. Yeah.
That's it.
It's like you're skipping stuff for timing, and
Yeah.
I get it, but like I don't know. I mean, Nine just got his screwdriver, didn't he? So maybe
Well,
it's
he
just
did, but then you know, a 45-minute episode from 2005 or 6 can do more
yeah.
than what an hour episode can do in 2023.
This is, I think it goes to the overall thing of what I'm scared of is that because they have such a budget now, it's going to turn into something where they don't use the charm of like budgeted stuff
Yeah,
and
yeah, yeah.
recognizable stuff in the show. I mean, it's always had a really good like style to it, the sort of New Who, the noughties. But like if you look at Ten's console, he's got like a paperweight as one of the
I know,
TARDIS
yeah.
controls.
And he just wobbles it around. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, and that was actually in the 60th, and I was
Yeah.
like, I always thought it was a TARDIS thing. I never thought it was a paperweight. I thought that was like an alien. Like, I
Yeah.
love that. I just wanted something like. I just feel like now it's.
They don't have to work hard for the things to look good.
They're doing practical effects. Don't get me wrong,
Yeah,
and like
yeah.
they do have like
Yeah.
the beams quite like that laser beams like practical and quite big and stuff. And again, like going back to the giggle, they did a lot of really good puppet work in this.
Yeah.
So they're definitely working hard and they're doing a lot of practical stuff. I think basically we just have to wait and see now what they're gonna do. Like
Yeah. And look, I mean, I've got a lot to say about the giggle, but like it really comes down to the fact that I thought Neil Patrick Harris was great as the toy maker. Um, I loved that he had hundreds of teeth.
yeah.
And talk about his teeth, the master in one of them,
Yeah, I mean it's an
which
interesting way to refer
Russell
to it.
again in the video commentary just said, "Oh, I don't know what that's gonna be."
That's kind of funny though.
Yeah,
I love that lady just picking it up.
I know,
It's
which is just
acolytes. Yeah.
who is literally from the angle she picks it up, is standing in midair
Yeah,
at the
literally.
edge of the building.
Don't
Um,
worry about it.
and yeah, I mean, the giggle just it was great. I did like it. I loved it up until the Bi Generation. Um, just because it just felt a bit, oh, okay, this is just happening now. Sort
Mm,
of, it was one of those things where that idea should be an episode in itself.
yeah, I mean, it really should have explored the idea of getting a doctor coming back, which has never happened before, and executing that well enough so that in the third act,
Yeah,
instead of being like he's just tired, it's like, oh no, it's like the toy maker's distorted reality. And like I wanted to see 14 sacrifice, in the sense of like I need to
yeah,
I'm back in this body that I was probably it was one of his most vain regenerations because the amount of times he did the meta crisis to continue being that doctor. He really didn't want to go, so his arc should have been. I know people were saying it would have been cliche. If he said, I'm ready to go now,"
I
but that would
know.
have hit. That would have hit. I don't know. Alonzi did it for me as well. I did
Yeah,
like that. Let's go. I like that. But like he didn't go. He's just there. Like, what are they gonna do? They're gonna wait until like a series finale of like series 15 or something where the Earth's under attack and he comes back and just gets exterminated or something like a
yeah,
spin-off. I don't I think do you know what? They're definitely just keeping them in the wings in case the show goes shit again. I'm sorry, but that's always what he's brought back for. It's just yeah, it's I hope the show can I'm sure it will stand on its own two legs
yeah,
because
yeah,
Shooty is really good casting for the role, I think. Um but yeah, I mean, overall, I was happy with the 60th. I think splitting over 3 episodes was really cool. I mean, we can touch on it probably like quickly, but like the Wild Blue Yonder was sort of like a real good hark back to episodes like Midnight and Blink,
oh yeah,
where you
yeah,
didn't have to do much. Um, but I know that my parents were watching it and they were so like they it was so like was is uncanny the right word? Or that's not the right word, but it was so like jarring, the images and stuff
yeah,
that they were seeing.
yeah. I
They were like,
I
what?
I've heard a lot of people say like, oh, you know, it's for new audiences and this and that, and then other people say, which is, I first of all, I just want to say I thought Wild Blue Yonder is the best of the episodes so far.
Episodes?
Um, but people have said it was very jarring to
Yeah.
have this maybe one of the most experimental episodes of Doctor Who ever for a new audience. Um,
I think it's kind of cool though to like take
it
that
is
risk,
cool, yeah, yeah, and it pulled off.
Yeah, it did. It is
Um,
one of the best.
um, but and this is controversial, but I would have liked all 3 episodes to be almost, and they kind of are, but aren't at the same time. But be
Like
a
a three-parter,
three-parter, yeah,
like
yeah,
Utopia, Sound the Drums, Last of the
yeah,
Time Lords, like
yeah.
that. Yeah, I
Whereas a
agree.
continuous threat, um, and Wild Blue Yonder didn't really even touch on, you know, the fact that uh 14's face was 10's, and
Yeah,
I genuinely thought that the toy maker had caused everything that was going on. Like,
but yeah, that big boss that they talk
yeah,
about, I thought
yeah,
that was him, and I thought it was gonna have a good.
or even had caused uh uh the what they call Wrath Warriors ship to land where it did, and all of this
Yeah, because
stuff.
Russell's good at tying stuff together like that as well, and I feel
It
like it would have
didn't.
been such a good platform to showcase his ability
Yeah,
to just do the first scene from the first episode and make it link to the last.
but it
But
just
obviously,
didn't.
I think it will tie into Shooty, obviously with the boss.
Yeah,
But
I felt like there was a lot of setup for no payoff with those sorts of
yeah,
things. And I know we're going to
it's,
get that, but
it will
like
get payoff. Yeah, when you watch it back, and then it will sort of like
it felt a bit Marvel, where it's like, oh, here's
yeah,
something to come. Like,
yeah,
oh,
yeah.
oh, what? Okay, but when this, I felt like the 60th anniversary should have been contained to themselves, where it's a bridge between New Who and whatever this new era is going to be called.
Yeah, it would have been nice to see that evolve in a bit more of an explicit way. To just be
Yeah,
like, even like the scene of like handing the keys to the TARDIS would have been cool. If it was just
yeah,
one TARDIS, like that
yeah.
would have been like symbolic. Passing the torch. No, make another torch,
I
and
know.
then apparently
Yeah,
they're gonna show that that TARDIS is still the
about to
original
say that.
TARDIS,
Yeah,
but it's a soft reboot. They just did a soft reboot of the entire show,
yeah, which
which I
is
mean,
you
I
know
guess that's what it
fine.
always is. It kind of
Yeah,
always is that when you regenerate.
5 or 10 years, it's not going to matter.
It won't. It
In
won't.
the end of this series, I mean, even in the Christmas special, it was like, oh, okay, it's the TARDIS. Oh, it's
Yeah.
the TARDIS. Do you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, you don't
um,
think, yeah, it's true. It's not like it's green or anything. Yeah.
never seen a TARDIS before.
Oh, yeah. She's,
He's going to
can't even remember her
be
name.
Clive.
It's all time back.
It's
Or what's
Clive,
that, Mr. Copper? I
Mr.
need
Copper.
Mr. Copper
Oh
back.
my god! Oh my lord!
Watch Voyage of the Damned if you didn't get that reference.
Yeah,
Otherwise,
please.
Joe just sounds like an idiot.
I do. Yeah, please go and watch it. Watch the end of
We-
it.
yeah, man. I
But
think
yeah, look,
overall,
go on.
Doctor Who's back. Like you said, I remember
Yeah,
you said it when the
yeah,
first, you're like, Doctor Who's back. Like, I
yeah.
think the last thing I wanted to touch on very quickly, I hate the opening titles with a passion. I absolutely hate them.
They're
Um,
they're not. They're nice.
mm,
They're out of sync. The
yeah,
names don't come up when the music hits
because the
beats.
music's shorter because they've done
Yeah,
this film where they hit like 45 seconds to match streaming shows where you can like skip intros and stuff. I mean, Jodie's had that, but it also didn't have the TARDIS hurtling around, so it made sense for it to be short. But I just feel like you missed such a key part of the show.
yeah,
That's
yeah,
what really annoyed
yeah,
me because it hypes you up. That's why I'm rewatching Matt Smith's. I think he's got one of the best, even series 5 and series 6. I love the visual of the TARDIS. I love that time vortex. It's not even too much, sort of like less is more, you know? I feel like it does showcase space and time in this new time vortex and all the
yeah,
different vortexes he can go down, but I find it too much. And I think it I really hate the idea that they brought back an old logo because the whole idea of the show is to create something new.
yeah, yeah. I
The
get
only
that.
logo I'd like them to bring back is the Eighth Doctor's because they barely used it. Other than that, like
Yeah, I would have liked them to have used the that the newest
time
logo for the 60th,
the newest logo. What do you mean?
like the one they're using at the moment.
They did.
No, I know, but like only for the 60th.
Oh yeah,
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 yeah, yeah, yeah.
because it's a diamond.
Yeah, and the
It's
time. Yeah,
our callback. Maybe they will.
yeah,
Maybe they'll come up with a new one that they just haven't revealed yet. But
yeah. It's the fact that yeah, they should have done a 60th tailored opening title sequence where it's sort of
yeah,
like did the different vortexes or something like that, and then Shooty gets a new one. But you know what? It's
what
sort
it
of done
is.
that. I'm
It's
sure
yeah,
they do listen to fans as well. It'll evolve into something. They always
yeah.
change.
Look, I came out of the 60th specials. I'd say that I loved them.
Yeah,
Maybe not love. Maybe love is too far because I love
but
episodes like
it, it it sparks it back in you,
yeah,
that childhood feeling. Like
yeah.
it was exciting. Yeah,
And I came out of the Church on Ruby Road thinking, okay, it's
yeah,
new. Maybe there's just a bit of, you know, what am I trying to say? Settling back into the
yeah. I get what you mean.
style that
Like
Russell
latency
had.
almost.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Because we've been with such a strange style of Doctor Who for so long.
yeah.
And very sporadic. Like you don't know when it's going to come out. The marketing shit, all of this
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah, yeah. Now they're slowly
Now
doing like
it's
even like
yeah.
toys are being announced again. So like kids are
Well,
just gonna have like, I mean, kids.
hey
Uh,
kids, yeah, talking shit about this sonic screwdriver. I'm
yeah,
definitely gonna get
yeah,
it. Um, well, of time of filming this, tomorrow's Tuesday,
yeah.
and character options are at the London Toy Fair,
Oh,
so things are gonna happen. And if they don't, people are going to be pissed off, and I know they will.
Joe's going to be outside. He's going
I
there
will.
tomorrow. He's going to have
I
a
will.
picket.
Don't tell work, but I'm going
Go.
there tomorrow to complain if they don't release the new Sonic Sky Remote.
He's going to get a Sonic and just step on it.
I will. Yeah, I'll buy the first one.
I mean,
Yeah, imagine.
yeah, keep it in the books. But
God.
yeah,
But
let's
yeah,
see what happens.
I mean, it was definitely a ride. The 60th and the Christmas special, and it
Yeah.
was nice having them all quite close together.
Oh yeah,
Well,
for sure. It was an era.
yeah.
It's a good time.
Yeah.
See what happens.
I know. I can't. To be honest, I can't believe it's all over now with
Yeah,
the
it was so
60th
quick.
and
Yeah,
years of build up to
yeah.
over in a couple of weeks.
He got cast February 22, didn't he?
Yeah. Oh, okay. So, well, a year and a half. It's quite a long
That's still,
time.
yeah, it is a long time. It's nearly 2
Yeah.
years.
Yeah, because
Year and a half.
David and Catherine were revealed a week later. Like
Yeah,
almost an exact week
yeah. So it's
to the
been a long
day.
time.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, man.
Almost 2 years. That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's
Be
insane.
careful. We
Wow.
might buy generator in a bit.
I
Getting
know.
old. Might need to slow down.
Jesus. Season 1 coming out in May.
Yeah.
1.
No, we're actually talking about our pod. Season 1 comes out in May.
Season 1.
Well, our next
We-
episode will be May.
We should do, yeah, it will. We should do loads, like 300 episodes, which will take us about 700 years to do.
Yeah.
But then finish it and say that's season 1.
Yeah. Stop random
Season
points,
2 is
yeah.
coming up.
No, we're rebooting it.
We're
With new
rebooting it.
hosts.
We reboot it,
yeah.
We buy generator at the end,
yeah,
and then we go and live
We're
in
setting it up.
resting.
Oh dear me.
But yeah,
Well,
I mean, nothing left really.
I've got nothing left. Got
Nothing
nothing.
left.
Yeah, man.
Bye bye.
See you guys later. Have a good time. Bye.
Bye.